welcome to Info Hub. In our headlines, the Caribbean Central American Action's first ever oil and gas conference in Guyana is underway. University of Guyana hosts Tech Talks, Linden residents air concerns during ministerial outreach, and Cuba to collect its first rice shipment from Guyana after almost 2 decades. Stay tuned for the details of these and more. And now for the details. The Caribbean Central American Action's first ever oil and gas conference in Guyana officially opened this morning at the Marriott Hotel. Zanil Williams was there.
The two-day CCAA conference will see local and international business stakeholders discussing perspectives and opportunities in a transformational economy. The conference was declared open this morning by Acting President and Prime Minister Moses Nagamutu.
Oil and gas will hold and must hold an important place in our lives. Those of us who came out of 300 years and more of colonial experience, of having rather not an economy, a dependent economy, a raw material producing economy. We didn't actually own our resources. So we look forward to oil and gas with optimism, but we also understand and we need to be educated constantly by those who have the experience. Like, at no stage in our expectation do we have a pessimistic or narcissistic view that the resources from oil and gas would not help our country.
While noting that the sector should be seen as a bright window of opportunities, the Prime Minister also made it clear that focus will be across all sectors. He took the opportunity to urge the business community to get involved and aid in the building of the local economy. Chairman of the CCAA, Cornelius Pryor Jr., said that as Guyana stands at the edge of a new era, the body looks forward to sharing knowledge with locals.
Guyana gets the prosperity it's been deserving and talking about for so many years.
Vice President of the Private Sector Commission, Desmond Sears, in brief remarks, commended the CCAA for hosting such a conference.
Acting President and Prime Minister Moses Nagamutu on Sunday charged the Guyana Olympic Association and the Commonwealth Games Federation to develop strategies to use sport to foster a triumphant spirit in the region's youth. Here is Tiffany Rojas with more.
The call was made at the opening of the Commonwealth Games Federation's meeting of the Americas at the GOA's Liniendal headquarters. The Prime Minister reiterated Guyana's solidarity and support for those in the hurricane-affected regions. He noted that the values of sacrifice, overcoming obstacles and triumph inherent in sports can have a positive impact on persons' psyches at times like these.
Sports represent, for me, the human value that rises above difficulties, that rises against challenge, that overcome eventually and soar higher above all these challenges we may face. So we have a responsibility to use sports to help to rebuild. We use sports, as you know, to meet the other many challenges that policies and strategies from governments cannot remedy successfully or completely.
Similar sentiments were echoed by Minister of Social Cohesion with responsibility for culture, youth and sport, Dr. George Norton. He shared the view that the region's youth must be given the maximum support as they prepare for the 2018 Commonwealth Games in Australia. Meanwhile, St. Lucia Minister of Culture and Commonwealth Games Federation's Regional Vice President of the Caribbean, Senator Fortuna Belrose, observed that GOA's achievements are an important testimony for where the Commonwealth body wants to position sports.
We can continue to use sport to make the difference in the lives of our people. And most importantly, realize the vision of the Commonwealth.
Also present at the event were Director of Sport Christopher Jones, GOA President Kalam Juman Yasim, President of the Commonwealth Games Federation, Minister of Sports from Antigua and Barbuda, among others. For InfoHub, Tiffany Rogers.
A ministerial outreach in Linden on Sunday allowed residents to voice their concerns and have clarity on a number of issues. Paul McAdam has the details.
The team of officials was led by Minister of Finance Winston Jordan and Minister within the Ministries of Communities Valerie Adams Yearwood. A main concern raised was the view that local contractors were being overlooked. In response, Minister Jordan said that whilst the contractors' frustration was understood, it must be reminded that many contracts are won through the competitive bidding process.
I can't fathom that most of these contracts are being awarded outside. However, be aware that we are not giving these contracts to people. These contracts are being won by a competitive bidding process. We can't get around that process outside of the 20% that is in the Act for small businesses.
The minister, however, urged local contractors to be cognizant of the rules of the bidding process, a process that the Finance Ministry has actively been assisting contractors to understand.
We have also had innumerable discussions and a number of workshops teaching people how to bid for contracts. Because in many cases, as we go through the bids, as NPTAB goes through the bids, it's simple things that people are being disqualified for. Now you may say, well, you know, why you couldn't give them a break? But you can't give people a break for simple things that should be in there.
Contractors were also urged to have the necessary requirements when bidding for contracts, since it was stipulated that they could only be awarded to persons who are from the region. A self-described small contractor, Daniel Thorm, was happy to have the minister address this issue.
It wasn't a bad view today, it wasn't a bad idea, and I do hope that all what I'm said, it come to pass, because Linden need these things.
The outreach also focused on other matters such as job opportunities for youth, housing, and the establishment of recreational facilities. Paul McAdam for InfoHub.
InfoHub's Gabriela Patram now tells us that the importance of science and technology to national development was underscored at the University of Ghana's Tech Talks held last Saturday.
The discussion was a collaboration between the University of Guyana and the Ministry of Public Telecommunications.
The government of Guyana firmly believes that science and technology is an integral part of national development due to this sector's unique ability to transform the quality of education, healthcare, infrastructure, agriculture, virtually every segment of a modern world society.
Minister Hughes has said that the government is gaining more insight every day about the free and open source software, FOSS, which can be used, studied, and modified by anyone through the implementation of e-governance policies.
The Ministry of Public Telecommunications, therefore, is dedicated to working with you, developing new ideas that utilize ICT in order to take this nation to new heights it has the potential to reach. Only through ICT will we begin to truly transform this great and dear land of Guyana.
The Tech Ed Talk 2017 aims to foster discussions on the emerging technology in the various sectors. Some of the areas covered during the talk include machine learning, robotics in education, tech in agriculture, track and field, surgery, and nanotechnology. Gabriela Patram for InfoHub.
Consultations with Sophia residents continue on the road network upgrade and expansion program. Details in this Delicia Haynes report.
Residents of Block F and Block R Sophia were engaged in discussions as the Central Housing and Planning Authority moves closer to securing a loan which will facilitate community development in these and other areas. Among issues highlighted on Sunday were those of poor drainage and squatters' regularization.
We don't have no proper drainage down at the back to the front. Look, because you could take from instance here. We don't have a proper road at the back right now. If somebody's sick, you help to come out here.
Senior Community Development Officer of the CH&PA, Donnell Bascom-Bess, informed residents that these and other issues are likely to be addressed as the program rolls out in 2018.
The project is still
in the negotiation stage. We will be signing off on this project by December. So that's why we're talking to you now rather than after the project is already signed, because we want to get your input now when we can actually make changes and inclusions to how the project develops.
Residents recommended that more meetings of this nature be facilitated whenever there are plans to bring infrastructural development to the area. They also suggested that all relevant sector representatives, whether public health, agriculture, education, or otherwise, be present at these meetings to hear their concerns. Delicia Haynes for InfoHub.
Delicia joins us again, this time to tell us that Cuba is set to collect its first rice shipment from Guyana after almost 2 decades.
Guyana's first rice shipment to Cuba since 1999 is set to sail today. Within 5 days' time, this rice is expected to arrive at Adams Port in Cuba. Private rice miller Nan Pasod and Company is facilitating the export of the 700 to 500 tons of white rice. This complements the first shipment of rice sent to Mexico in July 2017.
So this is the first shipment to Cuba since 1999, when the Marge Rice Milling Group sent about 400 tons of white rice to Cuba at a price of just over $345 per ton. The Guyana Rice Development Board is responsible for the quality, and we will also do the fumigation. You heard him say that he's confident with our operations, so we don't expect any issues with the rice being loaded here on arrival in Cuba.
Peters added that this is the first part of an existing contract between Guyana and Cuba for rice trade between the two countries.
And we are confident that this will be the beginning of a long-standing relationship. We trust also in the Guyana Rice Development Board because they are very respectful people, and they are very serious handling the quality of these shipments.
Paddy production for the first crop of 2017 was recorded at more than 518,000 metric tons. It is projected that local rice production will increase by 1.3% for 2017. GRDB's general manager said that efforts are being made to secure more rice markets for the country.
Minister of Indigenous Peoples Affairs Sidney Allicock is urging Indigenous peoples to use Heritage Month to celebrate the development of their communities.
Minister Allicock explained that while the 2017 Indigenous Heritage activities remain true to the Heritage celebration, there is still room for improvement.
During Heritage Month, these things should be brought to the attention of everyone for celebration. These are things that are happening right within the region. Things like the successful management of this community should be celebrated. That's keeping order. Those other persons like who did a lot in athletics, in rodeo.
The minister was addressing residents of Region 9 at the Regional Heritage Celebration at St. Ignatius. While commending the communities for maintaining their culture, he urged them to be more creative when showcasing presentations to attract visitors. Minister Allicock also lauded the region for being the most organized in terms of management and its community development plans.
Region 9 is getting more and more organized throughout. And if we could bring people working on like an exchange program where people could come from other regions to visit you, for you to speak to them of your experiences, that would be something of value for this region.
The 3-day event, which started on September 21, saw cultural groups from North, South and Central Rupununi showcasing the vibrant indigenous culture through dance, song, skits and poems. There was also archery, basket weaving and parakari drinking competitions and football competitions. Several booths were also at the event displaying indigenous cuisines, arts and craft and the regional pageant. Seneca Thorne for InfoHub.
Thanks for watching. Do remember to connect with us 24/7 on our website and social media. Goodbye.